Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Hello everyone, we are from 12 Science 1 and we're going to presenting about social problems. The first member of the group is me, also the host, GAVRIE Manuel, absent 12.
My name is MARSHANDA, absent 17.
I'm Eishal Hazeeqa, absent 9.
I'm RAIHAN, absent 22. My name is LARASATI, absent 4.
What is social problem? Social problem is any condition or behavior that has negative consequences for large numbers of people and that is generally recognized as a condition or behavior that needs to be addressed. The definition has both an objective component and a subjective component. We're going to discuss many of social problems. The first problem is civil rights and racial discrimination. Civil rights or the rights of citizens in a country to have equal treatment socially and politically is another one of the most significant social issues in America and around the world. More than 40 years after the Civil Rights Act passed, almost 60% of African Americans still live in segregated neighborhoods, and 19% of African Americans report that racial discrimination is still a major problem. What do you think about civil rights and racial discrimination, RAIHAN, and what is your solution?
Okay, thank you, GAVRIE. In my opinion, is number one, understand that there is diversity. Realizing that diversity definitely exists and the difference must be accepted and acknowledged. Everyone with their respective tribes has a different culture and must be accepted by other tribes. Further two, increase tolerance. Developing an attitude of tolerance can avoid division between other parties because each applauds difference. 3. Participate in human rights organizations. There are a number of organizations that are active in fighting for the rights of racial groups who experience racism. You can speak a lot and participate or invite contribution in any activities that support anti-racist action.
Thank you, RAIHAN, for your answer and your solution. The second problem is bullying. Bullying, which we call bullying, is a form of aggression located in continuum with a wide range of other forms of abuse and assault against children, such as physical, sexual, verbal, and emotional abuse, perpetrated by peers, by known adults, or by strangers. Essentially, all forms of aggression constitute the abuse of a power imbalance, a negative use of power in order to dominate, subjugate, control, humiliate another human being. We all know bullying is a negative act. Hazeeqa, what is your solution for this problem?
Thank you, GAVRIE. In my opinion, the solution of the problem, the first is making firm rules about the bullying. It is necessary for teachers and also schools to make strict rules about bullying. These rules can start from the level of class rules to school rules. That way, everyone will know the consequence when bullying occurs. Well, this way the bullying will be deterred and not bullying again. The second one is provide support to victims. Victims of bullying usually feel fear and anxiety in being in an environment where they experience bullying, because showing that teachers and friends can help victims of bullying feel safe again.
Thank you, Hazeeqa, for your answer. The third problem is bakes. What is bakes? These brawls have often occurred in our world or education in Indonesia, especially senior high schools, both an equivalent. This kind of phenomenon is a form of juvenile delinquency. It's good that we first get to know the brawl from a theoretical perspective, based on several series of cases of these. Brawls, the actual brawls that occur were only due to trivial or minor issues. This trivial cause eventually sparked acts of violence committed between students that led the death of several students. Arya, what is your solution of these problems?
Thank you, GAVRIE. Solution to problem. Number 1. Report to the police brings offenders such as video and photo. Number 2. Busy yours with other activity such as hobby and skill. Number 3. School must strengthen the rules for students what are involvement in browsers. Number 4. Parents should pay more attention to their children. Number 4. Parents ask their children more often about their activity at school and limit their children's activity.
Thank you, Arya, for your solutions. The fourth problem is cultural factors. What is cultural factors? Cultural factors is a social problem that occur due to cultural factors are generally created due to incompatibility in the implementation of values, norms, and social interests due to the process of social change and patterns of society that are diverse and heterogeneous. Marshanda, what is your solutions for these problems?
Thank you, GAVRIE. In my opinion, the problem there is involvement of all elements of society, community must be more intensively involved in supervising radio and television broadcast content, improving the social welfare of the community. Thank you, GAVRIE. My opinion solution the problem. The second one, there is involvement of all elements of society, community must be more intensively involved in supervising radio and television broadcast content. The second two, improving the social welfare of the community.
Okay, thank you, Marshanda, for your solution. Okay, the fifth problem is corruption. What is corruption? Corruption has been considered as moral disease, and there is even a growing tendency for multifactorial causes. Therefore, the handling needs to be carried out seriously and systematically. By implementing a comprehensive strategy, preventive, detective, repressive, simultaneous, and sustainable by involving all relevant elements, both elements of the highest and the highest state institution, as well as the wider community. Okay, Zika, what is your solution for this problem?
GAVRIE, in my opinion, the solution of the problem, the first is handling of public complaint reports. For the KPK, public complaint are one of the most important sources of information. The corruption cases are found through public complaints. Before deciding whether a complaint can enter the investigation stage, the KPK carries out a verification and review process. The second one is system repair. It cannot be denied that many systems in Indonesia actually leave loopholes for corrupt practices to occur. For example, staffing procedures become more complicated, giving rise to bribes.
Hazeeqa for your solution. Okay guys, the sixth problem is poverty. What is poverty? Poverty is a state of inability to meet basic needs such as food, clothing, shelter, education, and health. Poverty can be caused by scarcity of means of meeting basic needs, or difficulty accessing education and employment. Poverty is a global problem, as you know. Okay, Marshanda, what is your solution for these problems?
Okay, thank you, Gavri. My opinion, the second one from ourselves, because there is an excessive feeling of laziness. It makes us unemployed, resulting in a decrease in finances. The second rule, article therefore paragraph 1 of the Constitution of the Republic of Indonesia year 1945 with the state's obligation to look after the poor and neglected children.
Okay, thank you, Marshanda, for your solution. Okay, guys, the seventh problem is unemployment. What is unemployment? Unemployment is another example of social problem which is also very large in Indonesia. Why? Unemployment occurs due to many factors, one of which competition for human resources, making it difficult to find jobs. Usually, this is experienced by people who do not have sufficient educational background, so that they are inferior to people who have higher education. Okay, Raihan, what is your solution for this problem?
Okay, thank you, Gavri. In my opinion, for the problem is number one, create jobs for others. Opening a business in the culinary field where the business helps many people who need jobs and invites people to gain experience at work. 2. Set up vocational training centers so that people who do not have experience in work can learn, and so that they can work outside other companies. 3. Encourage skill through work training bodies.
Okay, Raihan, thank you for your answer and your solution. Okay, guys, the last problems is drugs. Drugs abuse among youth, and youth cannot. It is undeniable that there are still many consuming it in the environment around us. Impact for health in the future is not little. The dangers of drugs for addicts and young people, students very much, and if not soon stop consuming habit drugs, then this thing will be worsen health status the user himself. Okay, ARYA, what is your solution for these drugs problems?
Thank you, Gavrie. Solution to problem. Efforts to overcome drugs in adolescence are by taking preventive measures, such as providing religious education from an early age, establishing a harmonious relationship between parents and children, and providing collected to early children about the types of narration and the negative impacts they have due to drugs abuse solution.
Okay, thank you friends for all of your answer and solution. As we know, many social problems that we encounter in the society are not easy problems. We also sometimes find problems that have no end. But if all are resolved with competent agreement and cooperation from all parties, social problems are not possible to solve. That's all from our groups. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.